This week, the World Bank released its latest findings on the ease of doing business. The report scores and ranks 190 countries on their business reforms. This edition of the World Bank study reveals that Nigeria is among the top 10 countries that have made progress in the ease of doing business. To discuss this report tonight is Babajide Ogusowo, Channel Television's data consultant who loves figures. You're very at ease with them. Thanks again for being here, and I see the ball is back. Well, let me just start off, according to, the latest report on the ease of doing business, what do you think are the factors that have made it easier to do business in Nigeria, and how can other African countries help improve their own rankings?
From what the report shows, time is now on Nigeria's side. The president is also going to Saudi Arabia to attract investment. Is that a good move? Yes, it is. Does the ease of doing business report give Nigerians a lot to smile about? Yes, it does. Are we seeing some positive opportunities opening up in the South region? Yes, we are. What we also now need to do is for those northern states as well to be able to find similar ways to attract investment, similar to what we're seeing in Delta State. But here's the fact about the ease of doing business report, that unbiased report from the World Bank. From their own evidence, they say Nigeria is now among the top 10 countries that it's become easier to do business. We are still not where we want to be, but when it comes to progress, the report shows that we are among the top 10. But I would also like us to look at our progress within the last 5 years. And if we study that ease of doing business report, what you find out is within the last 5 years, we've been making consecutive progress. And so we see from the World Bank study in 2016, we scored 49.4 on the ease of doing business report. We've seen that progress now, and right now, from the World Bank's findings, we've scored above 50. Well, we need to compete better. What do I mean by we need to compete better? Which country is being rated as the most favorable for ease of doing business? New Zealand. And so, just like footballers compete, if there were to be a World Cup for businessmen, which country would win it? New Zealand. And so we need to focus on the progress we've made in the last 4 years. We are now 56.9 on our business score, 4 consecutive years of growth, but we now need to compete better by looking at countries that are doing significantly good on the ease of doing business report. And how do countries achieve that? One word, reforms. So we need to, in the words of a wise man that says, discard what we don't need and retain what we need. So those are the two things the government now needs to focus on. Discard what we don't need in terms of reforms, and let's retain the things that we need.
Yeah, and speaking of reforms, there have been a lot of them, I know, in the past 5 years, as you rightly pointed out. What else do we need to do to improve our ranking to be one of the top 5? So that, even before we attend these meetings, we already have people asking us, what can we do to get in on the action in Nigeria?
We can look at this. The World Bank talks about 10 areas. But tonight, I don't want us to focus on 10 areas because we don't have enough time. But if there are 3 things based on their report that Nigeria could do to improve on their rating, there are 3 things the World Bank has talked about. Access to electricity, the ease of registering property, and ease of getting credit. So access to electricity, ease of registering property, and ease of getting credit. And based on the World Bank's findings, if we're able to improve on these 3 areas, then we will move up the ladder of countries. So right now we have 190 countries. The World Bank says Nigeria is on number 131. However, even though we're on number 131 on the ladder, among countries that have seen significant improvement, we're among those 10 top countries. And the good news, Amarachi, is 2 of those countries in the top 10 are Africans, Togo and Nigeria. So there's now a lot of good news coming out, not just from Nigeria, but from Africa. And that is a lot of positive hope.
Yeah. So the ease of doing business, does it reveal anything about other stakeholders in the business value chain, especially consumers?
So the question is, people are asking, how does the ease of business affect them? What is this report? What does it mean for the common man? And the evidence shows that if it's easier for businesses to do business in Nigeria, then it becomes easier for businesses to be more successful. And when businesses are more successful, they will employ more people. And when more people are employed, if you're into business, you are most likely to get more people buying from you. And if you're also offering a service, you're also most likely to get more options in terms of places that you can offer your services to. So the Ease of Business report isn't just a fancy report that is attractive to the corporate sector. It's a report, and its information is relevant to not just that high net worth sector, but to also the common man. Again, the key word from this report is reforms. Let's discard what we don't need, and let's retain what we need. And states also have to play a significant role in making sure that it becomes easier for you to do business. Because I also know someday you'll be a successful businesswoman.
And I know your own business is thriving too. So Babajide, thank you again.
It's becoming easier to do business in Nigeria.
Thank you again for joining us on the News at 10. A pleasure having you here.